Welcome to the Instrumentals of Rock, where the music speaks for itself. Sponsored by Guitar Magazine. I'm Long Paul, and we've got another hour of the best in instrumental rock and roll, brought to you by disc makers and Olympus Image Systems. This week, we're celebrating our 100th week broadcasting the only show on radio that features the best in current and classic instrumental rock. First off, we'd like to say thanks to all the stations that have carried our show over the past 2 years, and to those that have joined us along the way. This week, the show's been programmed by you, the listeners, who sent in your contest entries of the 3 greatest instrumental rock artists of all time. Plus, at the end of the show, we'll announce the winner of the BC Rich Mockingbird NJ guitar and Pig Nose practice amp, along with the 5 runners-up that will get the new Vinnie Moore CD, Out of Nowhere. More than 50 artists were nominated for this week's show, including Ronnie Montrose, Yngwie Malmsteen, and Stevie Ray Vaughan, just to name a few. But up first, the 7th most requested artist, Jeff Beck, on the Instrumentals of Rock. Jimi Hendrix with Midnight from Voodoo Soup on MCA Records. Jeff Beck got us started with his classic Freeway Jam from Blow by Blow on Epic Records. We'll be right back with more of show number 100 on the Instrumentals of Rock. This is Long Paul, and you're listening to the Instrumentals of Rock. The IOR has been sponsored by Guitar Magazine since our very first show. Special thanks goes out to publisher Howard Clef and the entire staff of the magazine for all of their support. This month in Guitar Magazine, you'll find out everything you need to know about the music business, from touring, royalties, and lawyers and managers to merchandising and recording. Plus, there's an in-depth interview with Soundgarden's Kim Thale and profiles on Typo Negative, Mountain, and Brian Setzer. As usual, Guitar Magazine is a guitar and bass sheet music to 5 songs, including Stress Fest by Steve Morse and Don't Take Me Alive from Steely Dan. So check out the best-selling guitar magazine in America, Guitar Magazine. As voted by you, the listeners, Joe Satriani is the greatest instrumental rock artist of all time. But even the greatest are influenced by someone, and Joe talked about the day in 1970 that changed his life forever.
I started getting into the music of Jimi Hendrix, and when he died, some sort of, profound little thing happened inside of me, and I decided to be a guitarist. I was suited up to play football, and because I was on the high school football team, and I was standing outside the gym waiting for practice to begin, and one of the other guys on the team who had been home during lunchtime had saw on the television news that Hendrix had died, and he told me about it, and it was just like a chapter of my life. It just, you could feel the proverbial page inside of your brain just flip, and I realized I wasn't going to continue along the same path, so I went in and I took my gear off, handed it in to the coach, told him I was quitting, and went home and just stared at the Hendrix posters on my wall and decided to be a guitarist, and stuck to it.
Joe Satriani with the live versions of Satch Boogie and Summer Song from Time Machine. We'll be right back and let you know who won the BC Rich Mockingbird NJ guitar, Pig Nose practice amp, and the 5 runners-up who'll get Vinnie Moore's new CD, Out of Nowhere. And we'll also let you know what's coming up next week on the Instrumentals of Rock. That's it for this week on the Instrumentals of Rock. We thank just about everyone here on our 100th show, but of course the most important part of the show is you out there listening to the IOR. Thanks, we hope you keep it tuned in and cranked up to the IOR. Okay, the winner of the BC Rich Mockingbird NJ guitar and Pig Nose practice amp is Dave Pearson of Iron Mountain, Michigan, who listens to K-Rock. Ow! Congratulations, Dave! The runners-up for the Vinnie Moore CDs are Amy Wilson of WWJM in New Lexington, Ohio, John Mason and Dolph Chirino, who listen to WMID in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Wade Rickson, who tunes into the IOR on KIBZ in Lincoln, Nebraska, and Mike Higgins, who gets us on KDAG in Farmington, New Mexico. Thanks for all of you who entered. And, of course, thanks once again and congratulations to our winners. Next week, our featured artist will be Tim Pierce. We'll play tracks from his CD, Guitarland. Thanks to Olympus Image Systems, featuring their CD recorder, the CDR2. For more information, call 800-347-4027 and Disc Makers for the best in CD and cassette duplication. The Instrumentals of Rock is sponsored by Guitar Magazine. To subscribe, call 800-331-5269. I'm Long Paul for the Instrumentals of Rock, where the music speaks. Dream Theater with the Crimson Sunrise, Part 1 of the epic A Change of Seasons on Atlantic Records. We started the set with Fourth Estate and Poet's Lament from See What I See on Happy Scratch Records. We'll be back with more on the Instrumentals of Rock, where the music speaks for itself.
If you're really into music and the listening experience, there's a book written just for you. It's called The Search for Musical Ecstasy. It explores the real meaning of music at the deepest gut level. You've never read anything like The Search for Musical Ecstasy. It's a truly outstanding book that no serious rock and roll enthusiast should be without. It costs only $16.95 plus $3.95 per order for handling and shipping. Order your copy today by calling the IOR voicemail line at 1-800-883-5620. That number again is 1-800-883-5620.
What do you do when you blast your way into David Lee Roth's band from the towering inferno of Cacophony's guitar duo of Friedman and Becker, only to feel your guitar fingers melt away in the paralysis of Lou Gehrig's disease? Find out what Jason Becker did and what his music became. Jason's new CD, Perspective, will strike the chords of all your emotions from sorrow to unbridled ecstasy. Also, check out a video sampler of Perspective, as well as t-shirts and the CD. Order it now by mail from Jason Becker Music at P.O. Box 5109, Richmond, California, 94805, or just call the IOR voicemail line at 800-883-5620. Add the CD Perspective to your collection, along with a t-shirt and video, by calling the IOR voicemail line at 800-883-5620, or you can write to Jason Becker Music at P.O. Box 5109, Richmond, California, 94805.